$46,000. That's how much money you could have had if you invested in Tesla and left it alone since 2013. $355,000. That's how much money you would have today if you invested in Nvidia in 2013 and left it alone. There are a handful of stocks that can absolutely change your life if you buy and hold for the long term. But here's the thing. What are going to be those stocks for the future? So if we're looking the next 5 to 10 years, what stocks are they going to be? How could this happen? And how do these things even come about and how do they evolve? Let's go ahead and break it down. I chose 2013 specifically for a reason. That is because FANG stocks, the term F-A-N-G, that's when it started to really emerge. So that was an acronym that originally started for Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, and Google. Those were the best stocks that you could own. And boy, if you picked up those stocks back then, you made a lot of money. Okay, and I mean, these are household names now. I mean, even Netflix, one of my favorite stocks this year, I say this often, it's at or near all-time highs. And it has been one of the best stocks out there. Now, things have evolved. I mean, Google goes by Alphabet now, and these acronyms start to change. What was then just 4 stocks have then evolved and became F-A-A-N-G. And we had, it was Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, and Google. And then it became at some point the Magnificent Seven. We threw Tesla in there. Again, Google became Netflix. Facebook got thrown in there, and then they rebranded as Meta. Today, though, we now have a term called Batman. Now, Batman's not a superhero. He ain't. Okay, he's just a rich man who throws hands. That is a debate in a video that we can have at a different time. But I am going to give you what those stocks are, which ones I like, which ones I'm not as fond of, but present to you the case as to why you may want to buy and hold some of these companies, if not all, for the long term. But let's first start off with the B. And I'm not sure if I put these all in the right order or not, but it is what it is. All right. So Broadcom. Now the stock symbol for Broadcom is AVGO. If you have been watching these videos all year long, like you should have, and been subscribing like you should have, that's 2 times that I've reminded you. There may be a third at some point in this video. But it's been up 21% in the last 6 months, up 90% over last year. I did put out a yellow flag within our members only because it has started to plateau a bit. But again, if we're talking 5 to 10 years, if Broadcom is stepping into that stage, it still might be time. Because remember, if we're talking going back to 2013, imagine buying Tesla in 2013. And I said from the very beginning of the video, buying and doing nothing, and you'd have $46,000 in Tesla. Imagine dollar cost averaging and consistently putting money. Imagine where you would be at this point in time. Okay, so let's see what Broadcom can continuously do for the very long term. Next here is Apple. Apple is solid. I paused there because it's only up 16% in the last 6 months, up 27% over last year. That is very good. Okay, that is very good. And when you compare it to some of these other companies, you're like, it's not good in comparison to some of these others, but that's good. I think Apple has fallen off of the radar just because of some of these other shining stars that are really sucking the oxygen out of the room. But Apple solid is just not getting the attention that it used to. Apple used to be the one and only stock that people wanted to own. Now it's just like, we're all, looking elsewhere because they don't seem, that doesn't mean they don't have it, they don't seem to really be in the AI game, even though they are, okay? I don't want to say it too loud, but Siri is a part of the AI game. They are, okay? I can't say it out loud, but it's kind of like the original AI thing. I don't want to say it out loud because then my phone is going to activate, and my MacBook and everything else. Okay, but let's move on. Tesla is also on the list, up 134% just in the last 6 months and up about 72% over last year. Tesla has been a roller coaster. It is likely going to continue to be a roller coaster in 2025. There is a risk with Tesla, other than the fact that it is going to be a roller coaster. I don't think that's really going to change. I think I personally just need to get over it. And honestly, I have. It has been a stock for at least 3. There's a video, it's an old video where I finally invested in Tesla once it got into the S&P 500. So whatever, 2021, 2020, whatever that was, once I got into the S&P 500, that's when I invested in Tesla. I haven't sold it since. Okay, so I've been an investor in Tesla, even though I'm somebody who believes in I can still criticize and be critical of something even though I own it. Some people feel like once you own it, you can only say good things about it. I'm not that type of person. Okay. In either case, President has threatened or at least stated that he could snatch away those EV credits. That might be a problem for Tesla. Tesla also has some issues overseas. You want to know more about the pros and cons of investing in Tesla? I did a video earlier this year. You can watch that video here. Now again, we're talking 5 to 10 years, especially for the next 5. I think Tesla is going to be fine. It will still be a roller coaster, I think, because Elon is still quite erratic, but I don't see anybody, especially domestically, closing the gap enough for this not to be one of the best stocks to invest in. Next here is Microsoft. Microsoft is interesting, very interesting. For years, Microsoft had been one of my favorite stocks to invest in. Here is the rub. Microsoft is down -2% in the last 6 months, only up 17% over last year. Last I checked, it has been a little bit because the market was down yesterday, but up today, the stock market was up close to 20. Okay, so that is underperforming the overall stock market. I would not be excited, didn't say I wouldn't invest, I said I would not be excited about investing in Microsoft today. But Microsoft been around for a really long time. A really long time. And also, Microsoft has been fueling ChatGPT's dad in OpenAI. They are the ones that kicked off this entire AI boom. I think that has to stand for something. And, you know, I feel like it's kind of just understated. So while it's not the most impressive stock today in 2024, again, it's been around for decades and decades and decades. And there's so many articles written. If you had invested X amount in Microsoft in this year, you would have made X, Y, and Z. I could have very, very well have put that as opposed to Nvidia or Tesla. And that may also have been a 5-digit number. Microsoft is good. Okay, it is still very good. It may not be good now, today. And again, 17% is still solid. Okay, the average is 10% for the S&P 500. So let's not sleep on double-digit gains. But obviously, the other stocks in comparison are good. The question is, will it still be this good in 5 years? My answer is yes. I'm leaning towards a yes in that space. And they have the history to prove it. Next year is Meta, up 19% in the last 6 months, up 73% over the last year. I was super disappointed with Meta in 2021, in 2022. I honestly probably should have held on to it. You know, I bought Meta in 2013, 2014. I did hold on to it for a very, very long time. And they started laying off people. They did not do well. Okay, and this is before, you know, hindsight is 2020, and they started doing all the metaverse stuff. They did the headset stuff, and it didn't work. It didn't work at the time. They switched up. Things have gone well, and it is a very investable stock. And it appears that they may be on the running and into things for the future, and they appear to be a mainstay. What I like most about it, what I might like most about it, is if they get rid of TikTok, which appears to be the case, it looks like it's going to the Supreme Court, and that competitor is going to be out of the picture. I don't know if Meta is really going to have a major competitor outside of YouTube. Who else is going to oppose Meta in the social media space outside of YouTube? Who else is out there? Because Twitter is in shambles. People are on Threads. You got Instagram. You got WhatsApp. What else is out there if TikTok is gone? And how big of a boost is that going to be for Meta? Is that another one of the reasons why the stock is taking off? Questions I would ask if I'm looking into that stock. Next year, I have Amazon up 22% in the last 6 months, up 45% over last year. I don't need to explain Amazon to you. Then we have Alphabet, aka Google, only up 7% in the last 6 months. And then up 38% over the last year. I think we know what Alphabet, aka Google, does. We'll need to go into that one. Then we move here to Nvidia. This is the one that I feel has replaced Apple. Not in terms of, you should replace it in your portfolio per se, even though Warren Buffett has absolutely sold billions of dollars worth of Apple in his portfolio. You want to figure out why Warren Buffett has been selling, or you completely missed out on that, you can check out this video right here to learn more. But here's the thing with NVIDIA. It is actually down. I repeat, it is down 4% in the last 6 months and up 160% over the last year. So for some, perhaps that is a buying opportunity for you, depending on how you want to look at it. So starting from the top, perhaps not in order, but again, the Batman stocks, if you will, that can absolutely, I think, perhaps, because we don't know the future, but I think these are the stocks that can change your life if you hold them for the long term. We got Broadcom, Apple, Tesla, Microsoft, Meta, Amazon, Google, and NVIDIA. All right, but that ain't it. Right? You need a strategy. You also need to know a few other areas that you may want to consider investing moving into 2025, as well as what exactly happened yesterday and why the market was up today, and how to spot a few more buying opportunities, because you want to buy these stocks and a few more for the cheap. So you want to learn those things. You might want to start off with these videos here.